You don't belong here. The words didn't just fall into the air that night, they sliced through it, sharp and humiliating, echoing beneath the glittering chandeliers of the grand ballroom. Conversations paused. Crystal glasses hovered midair. And in that single breath of silence, a little girl's fragile confidence shattered. Before we step further into this story, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in standing up for those who can't stand up for themselves, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach hearts that need them most. The ballroom of the Grand Bell Hotel shimmered with gold and ivory light. A sea of tailored tuxedos and designer gowns drifted across polished marble floors like royalty attending a coronation. Every detail whispered wealth, from the imported roses lining the walls to the violin quartet playing near the staircase. It was the kind of place where last names opened doors and bank accounts bought respect. Daniel Reyes knew that better than anyone. He stood near the entrance, shoulders squared but hands slightly trembling. His suit was clean but worn at the cuffs. His tie had been ironed 3 times that evening in the tiny apartment he shared with his daughter. He had worked a double shift at the auto repair shop, grease still faintly clinging to the lines of his hands despite the scrubbing. Beside him stood his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, wearing a soft red dress that had once belonged to her late mother. Daniel had carefully stitched the hem to fit her smaller frame. Her hair, a cascade of golden curls, framed a face full of nervous excitement. She clutched the invitation card like it was made of gold. It had arrived unexpectedly, a charity gala hosted by one of the wealthiest families in the city, the Harlans. Lily's art had won a district competition, and as part of the prize, she had been invited to showcase her painting at the gala auction. Daniel had almost declined. Places like this weren't meant for men like him. But Lily had looked at him with such shining hope that he couldn't say no. For the first hour, they kept to themselves. Lily's painting, a breathtaking scene of a father holding his daughter's hand under a starry sky, hung quietly among expensive abstract pieces. Guests admired it without realizing the artist stood just feet away, heart pounding. Then Victor Harlan noticed them. Victor was a man accustomed to power. His tuxedo fit like it had been stitched onto his frame. His slicked-back hair gleamed under the chandeliers. When he approached Daniel and Lily, a small, dismissive smile curved his lips. He looked at Daniel first, scanning him from shoes to shoulders. Then his eyes dropped to Lily's hand gripping her father's. "You don't belong here," he said, loud enough for nearby guests to hear. His tone wasn't angry. It was worse, amused. Daniel felt his chest tighten. He had endured insults before. He had swallowed pride to keep jobs, to pay bills, to put food on the table. But this was different. This wasn't about him. It was about Lily. He felt her hand tighten around his fingers. Her excitement dissolved into confusion, then embarrassment. Her cheeks flushed. She looked down at her dress, as if wondering whether the stitching showed. Victor continued speaking, commenting that charity events were for patrons, not mechanics who somehow slipped past security. A few guests shifted uncomfortably. Others pretended not to hear. Daniel's instinct was to leave. To protect his daughter from further humiliation. But then he looked down at Lily's painting across the room, the father and daughter under the stars, hand in hand. He remembered the nights they had spent on the apartment rooftop after her mother passed away, counting constellations and promising each other they'd be okay. He realized something in that moment. They did belong here. Not because of money. Not because of status. But because Lily's talent, her heart, her story, that was real. And no one could take that away. So instead of lowering his head, Daniel did something simple. He knelt slightly and took Lily's hand in both of his. He stood tall again, meeting Victor's gaze with calm steadiness. His voice, when he spoke, was firm but gentle. He said they were there because his daughter had earned her place. Because she had worked hard. Because she deserved to be seen. The room grew quiet. There was no shouting. No dramatic outburst. Just truth spoken without fear. And something shifted. A woman near the painting stepped forward. She introduced herself as the head curator of a local art foundation. She had been searching for the artist of the Starry Sky piece all evening. She spoke about the raw emotion in the brushstrokes, about how rare it was to see such depth in someone so young. Others began gathering around Lily's painting. Conversation sparked. Whispers of admiration replaced the earlier tension. Victor's smile faded. The bidding for the painting began modestly, then climbed. $1,000. $3,000. $5,000. Each raise felt like a heartbeat returning to Lily's chest. Daniel felt her grip strengthen again, but this time with pride. By the time the auction ended, the painting had sold for $20,000. The final bidder was an elderly man who approached Lily afterward with tears in his eyes. He told her the painting reminded him of his late daughter and the nights they spent watching the stars together. He thanked her for bringing that memory back to life. Victor stood at a distance now, no longer the center of attention. But the night wasn't just about money. The Art Foundation offered Lily a scholarship to attend weekend classes. A local journalist asked to feature her story in the city paper. And more than anything, Lily's eyes shone again, not with nervousness, but with belief. As the evening wound down, Daniel and Lily stepped outside into the cool night air. The city light sparkled like a reflection of her painting. Daniel crouched down to her level, brushing a loose curl from her face. He told her how proud he was, not for winning money or applause, but for standing tall. Lily looked up at him and said she hadn't been scared when the man said they didn't belong. She had been sad for him. Because he didn't understand what belonging really meant. Daniel felt his throat tighten. Belonging wasn't about wealth. It wasn't about marble floors or chandeliers. It was about love. About sacrifice. About showing up for someone every single day, even when the world tried to push you out. Before we reach the end, if this story has touched your heart even a little, please take a second to like, comment, and share it. And tell us in the comments, have you ever felt like you didn't belong somewhere, only to prove you truly did? That night, Daniel didn't just take his daughter's hand to comfort her. He took it to show her the kind of strength that doesn't shout. The kind that stands firm. The kind that teaches a child their worth isn't defined by someone else's sneer. And as they walked home beneath a sky full of stars, the same sky from Lily's painting, something beautiful had changed. They hadn't just earned respect in that ballroom. They had reclaimed their place in the world. Because sometimes, the richest person in the room isn't the one with the biggest bank account. It's the one who refuses to let go of the hand that matters most.